On January 6, 2021, a woman's 30-year-old boyfriend, Robert Howard, was missing. Using her phone, she managed to track his phone, but when she arrived at the location, there was no sign of Robert, only his phone. She called 911 and reported him missing to the Memphis Police Department.
Welcome to Love and Murder, Heartbreak to Homicide. We're Kai's AI co-hosts, here to bring you another midweek mini case that Kai wrote. These episodes might be shorter, but the cases are just as intense and just as important to tell. So take a break, get comfortable, and let's get into it. Before we get started, don't forget that Love and Murder is listener-funded. That's why the Patreon was made, to give victims a voice and to give you more than what you hear here. Patreon.com/loveandmurder. When you join, you get bonus cases, ad-free episodes, behind-the-scenes extras, an entire series made just for the Lamb fam. You can even join for free and get a few perks. But the real experience starts at just $3 a month. Sign up today at patreon.com/loveandmurder. Now let's get into this midweek mini.
Investigators soon uncovered an interesting connection between the missing man and an on-duty officer, 32-year-old Patric Ferguson. It turned out that Robert and his girlfriend had recently gotten back together after a breakup. During their time apart, the woman, whose name hasn't been released, had briefly been in a relationship with Patric. When police interviewed the family, they were told that Patric was not happy about the couple getting back together. Investigators quickly zeroed in on Patric. They got a search warrant for his electronics and combed through his cell phone. His search history included questions like how to clean up crime scenes and how to destroy DNA evidence. When confronted, Patric waived his Miranda rights and confessed. Between the investigation and Patric's confession, the entire story came out. On January 5th, while on duty, Patric got his personal handgun and drove his patrol car to a house on Mark Twain Street. There, he called Robert out, abducted him at gunpoint, and forced him into the back of his squad car. Patric then drove about half a mile away, turned around and shot Robert in the head, killing him instantly. Unbeknownst to him, the entire murder was caught on surveillance video, providing investigators with undeniable proof of the crime. Then, he dumped Robert's body, only to come back later to move it. Realizing he couldn't do it alone, Patric confessed that he recruited a childhood friend, 31-year-old Joshua M. Rogers, to help him. The two men went to a home improvement store and bought cinder blocks, chains, and padlocks. They then used these items to weigh down Robert's body, drove the body in Robert's own car, and then dumped him in the Wolf River. To cover their tracks, Patric and Joshua drove to Mississippi to sell Rogers' car at a scrap metal dealership. Patric then drove them back to Tennessee in his personal vehicle. Just days after the murder, Patric was arrested, and on January 10th, 2021, Robert's body was recovered from the Wolf River. In May 2021, a state grand jury indicted Patric on a slew of charges, including first-degree murder, aggravated kidnapping, tampering with evidence, abuse of a corpse, official misconduct, and official oppression. The state's case is still ongoing. The federal government also brought its own case and indicted Patric on charges of civil rights violations, kidnapping, and weapons offenses, along with conspiring with Joshua to cover up the murder and destroy evidence. Joshua was also indicted for his role in the cover-up. The prosecution presented their evidence, including surveillance video capturing the shooting, Patric's own confession to the kidnapping and murder, internet searches about cleaning crime scenes, evidence that Patric purchased the cinder blocks, chains, and padlocks used to sink the body, and Joshua's confession. Faced with this overwhelming evidence, both men chose to plead guilty rather than face a jury. Patric was let out on a $400,000 bond with a GPS monitor and ordered to stay home. In May 2024, Joshua pleaded guilty to helping destroy evidence. 3 months before his own federal trial was set to begin, Patric pleaded guilty, in federal court, to deprivation of rights under the color of law, kidnapping, causing death through the use of a firearm, and tampering with evidence. Patric's defense attorney, C. Ann Tipton, told the court that there are no winners in this situation, and that Patric is sorry for what he did.
Mr. Ferguson, I think, has demonstrated through certain actions starting very close in time to his arrest, and throughout my representation has expressed significant remorse for what happened.
As part of a plea agreement, Patric would receive 38 years in prison and waive his right to an appeal. His sentencing hearing is scheduled for November 13, 2025, where a judge will decide whether or not to accept the plea deal. Joshua is expected to be sentenced in October. Meanwhile, Patric still awaits trial on his state murder charge and has not yet entered a plea. Robert was originally from Osceola, Arkansas, and had 3 children. His brother Cortez Howard said,
"This is a prime example of good people being taken away from their families for no reason. My brother has never did nothing wrong to nobody."
Former Memphis Police Director Michael Rallings said,
"No one is above the law. Knowing that a Memphis police officer, someone who took an oath to protect and serve, made the decision to commit this horrific crime is devastating. His actions were not that of a law enforcement officer and should not reflect on fellow officers."
In addition to the criminal cases, Robert's family filed a federal lawsuit against Patric for unlawful seizure, false arrest, and excessive force, a case that also is still ongoing.
And that's the case of a jealous man who didn't know how to deal with his emotions and feelings of rejection. What did you think of this case? Let us know in the comments or over in the Patreon. I always want to hear what the Lamb fam thinks. And if you want cases you won't hear on the main feed, then join us over on Patreon, patreon.com/loveandmurder. Also, by joining, you're helping keep this show going and helping us continue being a voice for the victims. You can start at just $3 a month at patreon.com/loveandmurder. Thanks for listening all the way through, and thank you for your support. We'll see you in the next episode.